Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tailspin. We have a special guest with us here tonight. So everybody, buckle up. Tonight is a conversation I've been looking forward to because it sits at the intersection of two communities that don't always see eye to eye. You have the UFO disclosure community and the crypto community. Our guest is from Make Aliens Great Again, the founder, Steve. Now, before anyone gets defensive or starts picking sides, let's set the tone for tonight. This isn't a sales pitch. This isn't an endorsement of a project. This isn't a debate where somebody wins or someone loses. It's a conversation. One thing I've learned from hosting hundreds of spaces is that good ideas come from talking to people who might not normally talk to you. The UFO community has always been skeptical, and honestly, that's a good thing when it comes to crypto. It kind of kept them safe. So we've got in the UFOX community, you have a lot of researchers, experiencers, investigators, journalists, and longtime community members who have spent years sorting facts versus fiction and signal out for the noise. Many of them aren't here for the money. In fact, a lot of them don't even care about getting any type of money with the research they do. Well, that's great. And that definitely is genuine, and they always look for transparency and what they believe is truth. And the skepticism has protected the community from a lot of bad actors over the years. At the same time, it's impossible to ignore what Make Aliens Great Again has accomplished. I mentioned that in a space yesterday. You might not like crypto, you might not like crypto community or projects, but you can ignore how much disclosure Make Aliens Great Again has done on X, and not just within the UFO community, but brought in a lot, as we all call, and actually both communities, the normies, right? They've brought a lot of traction into disclosure. So whether you agree with their model or not, they're still capturing a lot of attention. They've built a large audience, they've generated conversations and reached far beyond what a lot of traditional UFO circles have. They had Matt Gates on. Um, I've tried to get Matt Gates. I couldn't get him on MySpace. I know there's others who've tried as well. They were able to get Matt Gates. And perhaps most interestingly, they've managed to get engagement from people connected to the government, intelligence, aerospace, and broader disclosure discussions and decision makers. And that's definitely worth talking about. So tonight, I want the people to understand who's behind the project, how they came up with the idea, why combine UFO disclosure and crypto, what was the original vision, how has the vision changed, and what have they learned. And with that being said, I'd like to welcome Steve from Make Aliens Great Again. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight.
Oh wow, awesome, Mav! What an opportunity to come up on your show. I think you did an awesome introduction. Again, my name is Steve. I'm the founder of Make Aliens Great Again, and it's really just an honor to be on this space with a lot of truth seekers and people that are very well researched and very well versed in the UFO space. And I think together, we can accomplish a lot. I mean, our community has definitely drawn a lot of attention because it's a fun way to promote disclosure. It's a fun way to get the interest of politicians and celebrities, and we hope to get the interest of real researchers into UFOs and aliens. That's our goal, and our token is designed in a way where it allows us to fund that movement.
That's awesome. Yeah, I noticed you were at the music awards, you're out in Las Vegas, and you guys are bumping shoulders with a lot of people. A lot of people are, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously you have a token. I understand it being part of the crypto community, and you push your project, but you're actually out there interacting with these individuals. That was pretty impressive. And I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, Steve. When I first seen your NFT and I seen your page, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, that's brilliant. Why didn't I think of that? Even without a token, just the branding, make aliens great again.
Yeah,
It's
we founded
it's
it. So I
but
founded it by myself as the first token, the only token that ever launched. And I'll speak to the token because there's a lot of people from our community that are tuning in, and it is the way that we fund this movement that we created. But I started this project on February 20th, the day after Donald Trump had told Pete Hegseth to release the alien and UFO related files, and I'm like, wow, what an awesome way to tokenize it and really start a movement. I've been curious about UFOs for 20 years, ever since I went to Roswell, New Mexico, and Area 51. We kind of grew very organically. This wasn't a team effort launching this project. It was myself, and then I formed a team of people that were also just as convicted as I was. And it brought us to a lot of different places. We were down at Consensus, down at the crypto convention down there. And then my most favorite experience so far was just this past weekend. I was at Area 51, did a whole YouTube episode out there, interviewed some locals, got some local intel. They shared stories and videos, and it was just an awesome time. And what I think the opportunity for us is to really because we bring these speakers in, because we have the ability to do that through our marketing tactics and our connections now, is that when Matt Gates did come on our space, we had Jason load the bags. He was just in here. He's our resident expert. Let's just say he's just a community member that's super passionate about it. But I think it was Doomer that was would had popped in the other night. We had an awesome conversation, and he suggested, like, hey, next time you have a speaker like that come up, please let us know. We'd be happy to help you out with some questions. I am not an expert in this field. I am very curious. I've watched a lot. I have researched a lot. I've had my own experience. But that being said, there are people within your community that are going to be way more well versed, way more research, way more studied in this space. And I would love to talk to those people and yourself, Mav. So this is just an awesome opportunity for us. We really appreciate it.
no, 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 thank you. Because I think there is definitely opportunity for us to collaborate together, and be still safe for the people in the UFO community. I know Doomer had jumped in your space the other day as well. But if you look down below, um, you got Fringe. She's got a background in law enforcement. She's does a lot of research. She's an experiencer. You have Daz down there below. You have Doomer. You have UFO Sarah. A lot of great people in the UFO community. I've learned a lot from. I think I'm fairly new. I've been in this community maybe 8 months, and I've learned a lot from all of them down below, jumping into their spaces. And Data. I forgot Data. Sorry, Data. Um, But we're putting together a small little group. It's funny because right when you were kicking off, we started to put a little thing together to organize ourselves better. And I thought this was a great opportunity for maybe all of us to work together. If you're landing these guests and you want some good speakers, or people are going to ask the really, really important questions, now you can pull from this group of individuals with a lot of knowledge. I mean, years and years of knowledge on the topic. But one question I
Absolutely.
got,
Please, yeah.
what you said you're interested in UFO phenomena for about 20 years. Is there anything that once you started this project and you started to speak with these individuals that shocked you?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that shocked me. Um, a couple things I'll say is that the people within our community, are true seekers, and there's quite a few that have had experiences, and some have even provided, videos and pictures of stuff. And our goal is to maximize exposure. Uh, it's one of the goals that we have is maximize exposure to put pressure on our government officials, on world leaders, really make a movement around disclosure and so we want to do it in the right outlets to get maximum exposure. So we do a lot of like sort of guerrilla marketing. But I would say, Matt Gates coming on the space, that was pretty shocking to hear him, double down on the alien human hybrid program. That was shocking to hear. And yeah, I mean, like, we have garnered a lot of eyes on us, and right now we're just trying to find the right people, to help us guide some of these conversations that we have, because I have Alex Jones coming up in probably, I don't know if it's happening next week or the week after, where I'm going to be in studio, showcasing our video. We have the gentleman, his name's Crypto Data. He's going to be on there with us, explaining the video that he provided to us. But if there's any questions you have for Alex, I'll be happy to, hear what you guys have suggestions.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, I'd love to have some more from the UFO community come up. We know we got Fringe down there, Daz, Doomer, UFO Sarah. You have anything you'd like to say to Steve? I'd love to have you guys come up. Um, I know Auntie was up here before, and of course, whenever we have this discussion on this topic, I could not bring Auntie up. So, Auntie, if you're still down there below, you might have to take a loop, come back, and see if you can bring it back up again. Yeah, it's awesome. I seen you're going to be on Alex Jones. That's
Yeah,
pretty exciting.
yeah, I'm super excited. And if you listen to our spaces, a lot of times it's me and Run Dirty. His name is Dan. Are talking, and we don't get tired of talking, but we get tired of talking about the same things. So I really like this type of format. If you guys have any questions, I know one of the big things is, like, how did we grow in popularity, so quickly. And how do we get connections to the White House and all that? I'd be happy to, like, answer any questions that you guys have on that. What's up, Anti?
That
That's literally what my question was going to be. I heard that you were going to be in the room for some of the hearings, but I didn't hear any specifics on it. Are you actually going to be there during like the Senate discussions? Are you going to be there during the vote? Are you just going to be lobbying? What are the details about your involvement with that?
So, I'll tell you where my involvement comes in is, we have a couple connections, who have White House press passes. So that's how we're able to get, into some of these events, or these discussions, these meetings. Obviously, I'm not going to be in a skiff anytime soon or get a security clearance. That's definitely not happening. But I don't think it's so much of, like, I'm playing a role in any of that. It's just that I am able to attend, right? That's probably to the extent that I'll be with those.
Even that, I mean, to be there for history, it's pretty incredible. The thing that bothers me is just how often the questions coming from like the Senate committee are just so nonsensical. Like you would think that they would have like let experts come up and question them instead of the senators. Like, I just don't understand that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think the best bet would be, if you guys wanted, had any questions, and I don't know, where and if that's possible, where I can, insert some questions, maybe to a senator or something like that. It's possible, but I think the questions, coming from your community here, would be awesome. I would love to, take some of those down and bring them with me.
that would be outstanding. I've been trying to get a hold of. Uh, I called the Congressional Oversight Office 3 times. I tried to get a hold of Representative Luna and others to come on spaces, and I've had no luck. And I think it's one of it problems is I'm not, one of her represent. She doesn't represent me, so I get bounced to DC, then to the Oversight committee. Well, I'm sure I'm put on a list now because I called there 3 times asking them to come talk. Well, actually, I'm sure I'm on a few lists by now, but yeah, you'll find that out, Steve, as you
Yeah.
could continuously push the subject. You'll notice your
Absolutely.
phone's getting hot and all kinds of crazy noises. Or when you're talking to your co-host on the phone and it says this phone call is being recorded, and I go, "Is that you?" And he says, "No," and he goes, "Is that you?" And I go, "No." Yeah, all these strange things
Wow.
start happening.
That is
Oh,
very strange.
you'll find out.
I
We
haven't
got
that
here's
hasn't really happened to me yet. I did have an experience in Area 51 that I explained on the Tom Renz podcast um, a few days ago that we had, but nothing to that effect yet. But yeah, no, I'm ready for it.
Bro, you can't just leave us
here
hanging like that. You say you had experience in Area 51, you're like, let's move on. Like, I no, come on.
Well, this might be actually the safest space to, describe something like we experienced. Um, so I'd be happy to do it here. I was a little nervous to do it on the Tom Renz podcast, but if you guys want to hear it, I'll tell you guys.
absolutely.
Okay,
Yes,
cool.
please.
All right, awesome. So um, we were in Las Vegas. We started the morning off, heading to Area 51, which is about 3 hours or so from Las Vegas to a town called Rachel, Nevada. That was the goal. So we started the journey. It was me and Jacob. He's also another community member that I met out there, and we rent a Jeep and we start heading out there. And there's not a lot of service out there. If anybody's been to this part of Nevada, it's very, very, very remote. It's just desert as far as the eye can see. It's long stretches of highway of absolutely nothing other than desert and mountains. And so we didn't have cell phone signal for the majority of the time there. And so we would stop at a gas station, get Wi-Fi, get connected to Google Maps, and continue the journey. And so we had stopped in Alamo, Nevada, which it's about 45, 50 miles or so to Rachel, Nevada. And if you're familiar with Rachel, Nevada, it's a town that they have the Alien Inn. There's about 25 people that live there. So at Alamo, we stop at this beef jerky shop. It's all about aliens. It's super cool. We take a bunch of photos, and we asked the girl working there, "Hey, have you ever experienced anything out there?" She shared a couple of experiences. One being she regularly sees lights that are just over the mountaintops, and then they fall very, very fast to the ground almost, and then disappear. And then the other experience that she shared was that there's this phenomenon that the locals experience from time to time where it's about 50 miles from Alamo to Rachel, and it takes, about 45 minutes to an hour. It's the extraterrestrial highway. If you have any familiarity with this, you can Google it. It's extraterrestrial highway. It's a straight shot right to Rachel. And a few times, it typically takes about an hour. It took them over 2 hours, and they don't know why. It was almost like they went in a time warp or something, and it just made no sense. So we thought that was interesting. And so me and Jacob, get in the car, and we see a sign and we take a photo at it said extraterrestrial highway. Took a photo about 4 o'clock, and we start going, and it said 40 miles to Rachel, Nevada. So we're driving, and now there's absolutely nothing there. So as we're driving, we're calling out anything we see because it's interesting. Oh, look at those solar panels there. Oh, we drive another 5 miles. Oh, look at that. There's a white van right there. Oh, that's interesting. Drive another 5 miles, and you see something else. Like I remember we saw a dead cow carcass. We're like, oh, that's interesting. That was about 50 yards off the road. We're like, oh, that's interesting. We're driving for about an hour 30, hour 45 minutes. We're like, where the hell is this town? This makes no sense. We finally get signal. We put it in our GPS, and it's like it was 40 miles behind us. Now there's no turns on extraterrestrial highway. It's a straight shot. You could see for miles as far as the eye can see. And we're like, that's so strange. Like, how is that possible? So we make the U-turn and we start heading about 40 miles. And We're about 2, 3 miles out, and we look and we see this town that has a gas station, the motel, and a bunch of cars, parked out in front of us. We're like, if that's the town, like we're gonna be sick. Like this is something is seriously off here. How did we not see this coming in? One, we were looking for gas, and two, there's nothing else to see out there. So surely we would have seen this town miles in advance, and we would have passed it, and we would have stopped for gas. And not only that, it was our destination. So I don't know what happened out there. I seem even like crazy even talking about it, but it was myself and somebody else in the car with me where we never saw the town on the way there.
Did you check your speedometer or check like, the time on the clock or check like odometer or anything like that?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we didn't check the odometer, but we were cognizant of the time because, we're like, wow, that was an interesting story to hear, from that girl working at it. Apparently it's a local phenomenon that it takes them a long time to get there. So we were very cognizant of the time, and about an hour in, still no cell service. We're not seeing any signs of this town, right? Nothing, and we just keep driving, and then we finally get GPS signal, and it was 40 miles behind us on the exact same road.
Wow, that's definitely really strange. Almost like, did you lose time at all?
No, so we didn't lose time. Not that we perceived it. I was very cognizant of the time. I was very like, looking at the time because I knew it was okay. It's about 45 minutes from the sign. It's about 40 miles. So let me see what's going on here. The problem is when you're out there, you can't get GPS signal. So, we couldn't put it in the GPS when we were about 45 minutes an hour in. So we just kept driving, and then we finally got signal. It was about hour 45 minutes into our drive, and it was like it was directly behind us.
Wow, that's crazy.
And for anybody that's never
And
been out in these regions before, it's just like you said, desert. So like it's not like you're distracted by a bunch of stuff. It's just the same old forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. So that's wild, bro.
It's insane, and it's like very hard to like even comprehend it, and it's very hard to even say it, and that's why I feel comfortable saying it here because I know everybody in here is a true seeker, and I looked it up online. The phenomenon does exist, but I don't know how we missed an entire town. I mean, it's not a big town, but there's probably 10 to 15 buildings, a gas station which we desperately needed. We were running out of gas, and our friends were there to shoot the YouTube episode, so we were on heightened alert looking for this place. And there's no turns off. There's no turnoffs. It's one highway. That's it.
wow, that's definitely weird. We got Chris O'Leary down. Hand up. He's got his hand up for a little bit. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Mal, good to talk to you again. It's good to hear your space. Um, I was recently asked by a prominent contemporary researcher if I would be willing to speak to a couple of congressmen he knows that are having a hard time accepting alien abductions. And he said that they need to hear me. So I have said yes, even though it's, opens up a whole lot of attention um, on me, but I have to do it. This is my higher purpose, man. As a man who was abducted first 60 years ago this year, 1966 was my first abduction, and 150 over the decades since, and the same with my brother, who both of my brothers. Only one is involved in talking about it. Both were New York cops, retired. And my mom, of course, who was taken in 1959, 2 years before Betty and Barney Hill. We are old school, and I'm very excited to talk to some people that desperately need to hear the truth of the alien situation. I've heard nothing resembling truth coming from any of the congressmen. They're repeating what they've been told. But nonetheless, every day the news inches closer and closer to what I've been saying for, well, we got our memories back in 96. So for 30 years, I've been sounding the alarm as much as I can. And I was very amused to see news reports on 4 different types of aliens, you know? Because that's I am standing still and standing firm on what I've been saying for 60 years, and the world news just comes closer every day. So, yeah, it's been good listening to this. If anybody has any questions, I'm not the only person in this room you can ask, but one thing the world and the UFO community fails to realize is that the only people in this conversation who know what they are talking about are those with alien contact. And when you reach the level of sustained alien contact that our family had, we're people to listen to. Researchers, researchers listen to what people say and they write it in a book and they add some theories. Wonderful. Or they'll dig up ancient, you know, typewriter ribbons from MJ12 and go, here we go. Now we're on to something. Why don't they just ask the people who actually know? One of the problems in this field is that people don't really want to know. They much prefer speculating and guessing and daydreaming about, oh, it could be this, it could be that. I wonder what first contact's going to be like. Well, you know, you're like 80 years too late for first contact. So, but if I have 1 second left to speak, if you're curious about disclosure and what it is and what it represents, what the truth of it is, and I believe that most of the people clamoring for disclosure really don't want to know because they think disclosure is the opposite of what it is. Here is why the gray aliens are here, along with the mantis. They are in league. They are here to take this world from us. That's it. They're not here to uplift you, enlighten you, give you new sneakers and free energy. Absolutely not. And it's kind of funny that everybody wants 2 things. 1, spiritual enlightenment, and 2, lots of new tech. Well, they're here for neither of those things. If the aliens were interested in raising your consciousness, why is it that the first thing they do when they approach you is lower your consciousness? You are nothing but genetics to them. And you want to talk about the hybridization program? I have too much to say, so cut me off at any point. I was introduced to a hybrid son that they made from me, and this was in 1979. He could not have passed for human. And they didn't introduce us for my benefit. They don't care about us. We're just genetics. We're just ova and a hell of a lot of sperm. But the kid, they they really liked him. He was doing good work, good job in his work group, lifting everybody up and not tearing anybody down. And so I guess they reward people or hybrids. And they asked him, how can we reward you? What can we give you? And they told me that every time they ask, he says the same thing. He wants to meet his Earth father.
Chris, I don't want to cut you
Yeah,
off,
that's okay. We can
but
stop there. That's fine. But that's real. Hybridization is real. Abductions are real, and they're here to take the world from you for its vast resources that they believe we are wasting, squandering, and that we just frankly don't deserve this world. This world is a gem. Um, and that's why they're here. And their plans for us, once they're firmly in power, they will greatly reduce the population of the human race to a manageable level, and then we will be a workforce for them. We will be enslaved. That's what these aliens want. And that's why they've never told you what disclosure is, because it's too goddamned horrific. They're going to take this planet and we will be either extinct or enslaved. I don't think you'll make the choice, but you'll be one of them. So it's time we start getting serious about this. I urge anyone to contact me if you have questions or complaints or anything like that. I am speaking out because I like people. Actually, I don't. I hate most people. But I'm pro human race, man. I don't want this planet to fall in the hands of aliens. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you so much, Chris. Yeah, Steve, Chris got an amazing story. I had him on for a space. Really incredible. Uh,
Yeah, I would
abduction
love to.
history
I
with
would
it.
love to, hear your story, Chris. I don't know if this is the space for it, but be happy to have you. I don't know what your comfortability is, but happy to do an interview or another space or whatever you want. But I'd love to hear your story and get it out there if that's your goal.
Yeah, that is my goal. And yes, I will do an interview with you if it's a podcast or a space or whatever. We just did an interview 2 weeks ago, just past 80,000 views. So I'm quite happy that, that's more than most of all the interviews I've done added together. But that's not the point. I'm speaking to everybody. I would love to talk to you. So let me know. I'll hit follow on you. You follow me back and you can message me.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, sir.
Nice to meet you,
Oh,
Chris.
no problem. We got UFO Sarah. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, thanks, Mav. Great space, and as usual, Steve, it's nice to meet you. I wanted to jump up here. I don't want to speak for the UFO community, but I'd like to sort of introduce a couple of people that are in the audience. I do think it would be great. I think we're all here for the same thing, and that's disclosure. I think that disclosure is personal. And I think that each one of us are on our own path. I have not experienced or witnessed a UFO or an NHI to my, to my recollection that I haven't. Chris, please be kind. Thanks. So I, what I'm saying is that a lot of us are on our own path, and as we're on our own path to discovery, we have questions. And I am one of the researchers that have been currently working on current disclosure, the history of it, like the last 30 years, all of the big names in ufology, Lou, David Grush, Jay Stratton, Hal Putoff, like et cetera, even going towards our political leaders in this, like Rubio, and I've been putting together a timeline. And so my focus has been holding spaces where we learn about how we got to where we are today. I don't know if that's important enough, but it's something that I can offer the community and that I've been doing. So that being said, that's what I'm doing. And then also what like Fringe down there and Doomer Daddy down there and Tiff, who is not here, they do a fantastic Thursday spaces, usually interviewing people like Timothy Alberino. And it usually and Jason Georgiani, and these interviews last like 6-7 hours long. And and it's fantastic, and they doom hard, and it's like it blows your mind. I'd also like to point out Daz down there. He's our brother from another island across the way, and he holds fantastic Friday spaces where it's consciousness spaces and experiencer spaces, going into the depth of that. And then I'd like to point out Jay Just down there, who's our inquisitive questionnaire gal. If you ever have someone in a space where you're interviewing them, please bring her up and know that she might ask more than she should. But oh man, she's got the questions we all are have, we all have in our heads. So just they're just a couple of people that hold spaces, and Blue down there does recaps of spaces, and recaps of anything UFO related. Interstellar just jumped in. Interstellar is also our brother from another island across the way, and he has a podcast where he's been interviewing people, and he holds spaces. Like, I just wanted to sort of point out a couple of us that are in this community. Um, Fringe is also, I should point out, I believe she still has, and I'm almost certain, Monday afternoon for me at least, spaces, experiencer spaces, very intense, very open, very safe experiencer spaces for anyone that's looking for someone to talk to about that. And so, yeah, anyway, I don't want to talk long. I just kind of wanted to introduce everyone that I know, that I recommend, and I look forward to coming together as I think we all want the same thing. We want the truth, and I know that the government has lied to us, so we're all very hesitant that the government will actually give us the truth. So together, maybe we can parse through everything and figure that out together. Yeah. So thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you. Nice to meet you too, Sarah. And I appreciate you, introducing everybody else that's listening here. It's very good for me to know. Before this project, I wasn't very active on X. Actually, really wasn't active too much on any socials before this. So this is all very new to me. And I'd love to use the quote unquote popularity that we've gained, to help and highlight, the people that are tuning in, people that are, seeking disclosure, and are interested in this topic.
Yo, I also want to say, like, it's important for the people that went their whole life not knowing about any type of disclosure, or the government just kind of like shutting them down for it. You know what I mean? The people have gone their whole life and have been called crazy. I think it's important to do it for just the whole cause in general.
It's so true, Goose.
Absolutely. And I think, that's kind of what I'm finding out, is that, and it makes sense, is that, when you have an experience with something that's, you know, taboo, let's just say, this is not a topic that's been popular until, really recently, last, few years, since like 2017, it gained popularity. Now they're making movies on it, and, the governments around the world are pushing more towards disclosure, whatever you want to call it. They're releasing more information in regards to the topic. But for people who've had it, first encounters or experiences, there's not there's it, you could tell your friends, and they may look at you, sideways. You might tell your family, and they might look at you like, what, are you on drugs? Are you okay? You might need help. And that's really screwed up. But I'm hoping that, this movement that we're creating and that's gaining steam, can give these people, who've had experiences, a platform if they so choose, or even just a community, or just somebody to share their experience with, because that's important, not to keep that inside, and to talk to somebody who gets it, or somebody that's willing to listen.
No, that's so true, and there's so many people, so many different experiences, um, that I had the pleasure of interviewing, and it's it's just amazing. I'm not an experiencer at all. I make this clear, I don't want to be, so I'm open-minded to when people come up and speak and tell their story, because I don't know. I do, I always disclose I'm Catholic, I lean more towards my faith, but I don't know what these things are. But what I have concluded over the past 7, 8 months, this phenomenon is real. There's something going on here. There's some type of other entities. I don't know what they are, but I'm open to anyone's point of view or experience on it, because let's face it, they're not telling us anything, right? So for anyone to come out and say this is 100% the absolute, you know, leaves me thinking like I don't know. I can't make that decision, but I'm open to everyone's point of view, and I love the UFO community here because I've learned so much, and they literally scared the crap out of me too at the same time with some of their experiences, and they'll give me, oh, by the way, Mav, because you talked about that, don't be surprised if, and I'm like, what? I'm just curious. They're like, oh, too late now, too late. But we got Doomer Daddy up here. What's going on, Doomer? Oh, they got him.
You can't make that up, man. He was on the stage for like a second and they got him.
You'll notice a lot of that too, Steve, happening, especially if you have experiencers on and you have anyone on as a guest from the government, scientists. You'll start getting these weird things happening with the
You'll
Oh, that's
hear
heads up.
wild.
noises you have like last time, Mav, would it sound like a freaking 1998 modem freaking loading up? It was like, dude, where is this coming from?
That's wild. That's wild. I'm in for a
Dad,
wild ride.
see if I can bring Daz back up again.
He,
This is crazy.
he's up here. Go.
And I'm streaming live on X, right? So the title up top is supposed to be the title on the X Live, and it's not. And I updated it 6 times and it won't change. And it did the same thing with the YouTube rebroadcast. Can't make this up. Only with these topics. What's going on, Daz?
Hi, that was strange. I came up and then I got dashed back down. I'm gonna put it down to a glitch, and none of you three actually done that to me personally. That's fine. I know it was the app. I wanted to say hello. What's his name? Is it Matt? Is it Matt? Make aliens great again? Matt?
Steve,
Oh,
Steve?
it's Steve. Hey, how are you?
Sorry, Steve. I'm
that's
terrible with
okay.
names. I will try and remember.
No
Yeah.
worries.
Hi.
My space is glitching. What's your name on here?
My name's Darren, but I
Darren.
call myself Daz. Yeah, it's just
Daz.
it's
Let
easier
me
for
see
the
this right here.
Americans to remember. Yeah, and
Oh, I see you now, Daz. I'll follow you back. Awesome.
hello. I do, I guess, class myself as an experiencer, someone who has been in the kind of esoteric and spiritual quest for very long time. I'll say about 20 years. Went through the stage of like, I'm an indigo child. Oh no, I'm a light worker. Oh no, I'm a starseed. And then I came across the UFO community. Oh, actually, I'm an experiencer. My experiences really started kicking in 2017, which is so interesting to me because that was when a lot of other people intellectually got activated by this. When the Americans talk about the New York Times article and that kind of like start of disclosure, for me, I wasn't aware of any of that. I just metaphysically started getting contacted by spirits and ascended masters and started seeing crafts. It was very interesting to me, and then found myself on Clubhouse and then on Twitter, and then found Christian and Ursula in the experience of spaces. And then the rest is history. I started doing spaces with Astral, exploring, like Sarah said, consciousness, psychic phenomena, spirituality, and touch of like the phenomena, And yeah, this community is very vast, very dynamic, and very unique. I guess I would just say, with your popularity, don't let any of the naysayers of this community tear you down, bring you down, put you off, whatever. And a few of us are here to kind of like greet you and say hi. But the way how this community is, there are going to be some that are not going to be as welcoming or as agreeable. Then just wanted to kind of prepare you for that, because I think a lot of us who are hosts, especially if we get a few numbers in our spaces, find that there's a lot of people who want to try and tear us down. So I just wanted to give you that word of warning and say hi.
No, I appreciate that, Daz, and it's very nice to meet you. And I'm sure we're going to be having more conversations because I'd love to to hear your expertise and your interest in this topic.
I always say I don't have any expertise, just my own subjective anecdotal experience. I am not a researcher. I'm not as advanced or well versed in the topic as so many of the people in this community, but I'm a good connector and I'm all across this app. And I am actually having a space on Thursday with Alan Didio, the pastor who was in the meeting in February, where they were briefed to warn their congregations about the disclosure that's coming. And he had the space about 3 weeks ago. I think it was May the 5th, and Red Panda was co-hosting with him, and he's going to be joining us on Thursday. So yeah, if you wanted to check that one out, come along.
Absolutely. Now that I'm following you, I'll make some time to pop in there. I'd love to hear what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, we're gonna jump to Doomer, but Steve, yeah, I'll let you know. A lot of the folks in here have guests. We're trying to coordinate a little bit better so that everyone knows when someone has a space. Daz, if you want, you could pin your space up top. Daz and I were both going after him at the same time, and Daz landed him first. Uh, and they contacted me last night and wanted to do it 3 days before him. I'm like, Daz, paper, rock, scissors. I was like, no, 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 bro, you got him first,
And,
so you
and
win.
I'm like, no, I'm not even doing that. Mine's already scheduled. You just put yours back in a week or two. Like, yeah. So he will be coming back, because Mav will be having him as well. But he is fascinating. Even though he's a pastor, he did know about many different things. I listened to that space again today, and I'm quite excited to just hearing his take on things, but also the take of the UFO community, who I always say are so advanced and so intelligent, and what they would have to say with him.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't always have the luxury of, being able to schedule the spaces that we have. Like right now, are you guys familiar with Ryan Graves? He was a former, F-18 pilot. So we're in talks with him, and he may just pop in, last minute kind of thing. So sometimes, like even Matt Gates, that was something that was done. In the morning, we got word that he was a go, and that he was down to pop in for 20 minutes or so. So sometimes we don't always have, a lot of notice, but we always have feelers out, and we're always, we have probably a team of, I don't know, 3 or 4 guys that are always putting feelers out for anybody in the political sphere, celebrity world that's interested, in this topic. So Ryan Gray is somebody we're in talks with, and hopefully we can get him soon.
Oh, that's awesome. We have regular returning guests also that I think you'd be find interesting. Like we have Jack Serafati. I don't know if you know about him. Dr. Jack Serafati. He well, he goes around telling everyone he is the real Doc Brown in Back to the Future. The guy is brilliant. He's a physicist. He was born, I think, in the 40s, the early 40s, and actually went to school with people who worked on the Manhattan Project. So he's very interesting. Then we have Dr. John Brandenburg, another physicist who's working on cold fusion. He pops in every once in a while, and there's a few others that jump in some of the other host spaces below.
Mav,
So I'll let you.
Very cool.
how did he recently refer to Eric Weinstein? I'm just trying to get a clip. What did he say about Eric
Oh,
Weinstein lately?
Doomer, we said we weren't going to clip that. Oh, he's just a mathematician. He's
No,
not a
I think
physicist. He,
the exact words were, he's more like a stockbroker who dabbles in science. I think those were the exact words. A physics influencer, I quote. Let me know if I need to say it again for the clip.
oh no. I thought about clipping that because I knew that was going to go viral. I'm like, I can't do that to the doctor. I can't.
Dude, I'm
I
going to
can't.
clip it, Mav. I have to. I thought about it all day earlier today.
But go ahead, Dad. Go ahead, Doomer.
Yeah, Steve, thanks for showing up here. and subjecting yourself to some scrutiny. My
We're
question
being
is
good. We're not giving him scrutiny.
mild scrutiny. There is some mild scrutiny.
Very
I
kind,
think
but,
it's brave.
but let it rip just because I don't have, and then Dan can come up. Dan has run dirty and he's him in, but I don't have too much more time. So, let him rip with anybody gets questions, please.
All right, I'll go straight to my deepest, darkest, dooming questions. Do you have a line for disclosure? In other words, disclosure that's too catastrophic or too hard. If you were given information that you could publish and it would result in, let's say, 1% of people killing themselves just due to ontological shock, but the information affected was a need to know for everybody in the world, would you publish that information? And do you have a line? Is it 20%? Is it 50%? Is it 99%?
So I would say I'm not privy to that information at this time. If I had, I publish it. Yes.
Are the aliens? Is anybody else having a hard time hearing
Yeah,
me?
no, we're
No,
losing you.
it was about time. It was about time. They let it go on for so long.
Steve, whenever a really good question gets asked, the aliens fuck with disclosure because they're censorship. They're pro censorship. So do me a favor and answer it one more time once we have a good reception for you. I think I can hear you now.
Okay, that was interesting. Okay, can you guys hear me okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you well now, man. Thank you.
Okay, so no, I am not privy to any of that information yet. Do I hope to be? Yes. If I were to be given that information, I would want to go through proper channels, to protect myself. For example, we have come across a video from a B-52 bomber at 33,000 feet tracking an orb-like object that makes moves that defies the laws of physics. It's clearer than any video that has been released so far. And, I'm trying to launch it through well, it depends on your definition of reputable, but somebody with a large audience, because I feel like that's the best way to go about this. I don't want to say too much more on the video, but it's very compelling and it's better than anything that's been released on this latest batch.
Okay,
This latest two
but
batches.
I mean, Steve, we ask a lot of people a lot of questions, so it's hard to wiggle your way out of this one. Let's say you came across evidence and it wasn't from governmental sources. You tripped on something, proof of human origins, maybe that aliens made religion, maybe a soul recycling program, maybe immortal enslavement of the human species and the human soul. Would you, if there was no proper source to go to, wasn't governmental source, would you disclose even at catastrophic cost to society, or would you just keep it in your pocket?
I would disclose it. Is this like a martyr question? Like, would I be a martyr for
No, not
disclosure?
would you be a martyr.
mean,
I mean, like, would you be willing to reveal information where the information alone causes, let's say, societal challenge, if not a total breakdown?
well, I mean, it depends. Like, if I truly believe that it's real, then yes, I would release it 1000%.
Very good.
If there was a doubt, if I was looking whether I was looking at something real or not, I wouldn't want to just create
That's
chaos
totally
for
fair.
the sake of
Yeah,
chaos.
here in this question, you're assuming it's authentic and it's real.
Yeah, so I'd 100% release it.
That's my only question, man. I know there's other people here. Thanks for coming up in Mav's space.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Steve. I don't know much how longer you have. If you have to go, so we
Well,
can
maybe we
finish.
could bring Dan up. So right now I'm in Newark, New Jersey, and this is part of it, guys. Is like, I know this may not appeal to most of the people listening, to this space here, but I'm in Newark, New Jersey right now at an anti ICE protest, And if you look at my X account, I was just on national TV. I was on Fox News for wearing an alien mask and an alien hat that says "Make Aliens Great Again." And whether you think it's funny or not, or that's your cup of tea, the point is that it gets eyes on us in a fun and funny way. And so that's kind of the sun's going down here. I don't really want to. I don't feel comfortable being here at night just because I got pressed by a lot of people, but I just lead with love. And I usually find that people, even in the most hostile environments, tend to, lay their sword down. So it's pretty cool. But I don't mind if there's specific questions. I don't mind staying on for as long as I have to. I just don't like to. I just want to get back to that if there's no other questions.
Steve, I'm 45 minutes away from you right now. You should have let me know. I could have joined you.
Who is that, Mav?
Yeah.
Oh, and get the hell out of here. So I live in Jersey City currently. So it's only about 20 minutes away from me, but we should definitely meet up, man. I would love to.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Steve, you got to show him the video in person.
I'll show you the video in person. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm in
Absolutely. I'll show you the video in person.
Monmouth County, so I'm not that far.
Oh, very cool. I love Monmouth County. I love Long Branch, and I like the beaches down there. It's beautiful in the summer. And Asbury and all that. But yeah, man, let's talk offline. I'd be happy to come down there and sit and chat with you, man. It'd be so cool.
Yeah, it'd be great. We got to set that up. But yeah, if no one's got any more detailed questions for Steve, we'll let him get back to protesting the anti-ice, make aliens great again.
Yo,
I know for that.
no, yo, I want to just thank you, Matt, for bringing Steve, make aliens great again. Very interesting, very interesting. Here, I thought like aliens were here just to like not only take over the world, but like take our jobs, take our properties. And I like where this is going. Maybe I don't know. He's a Republican alien. I thought you were gonna start this show with like two contradicting sides, but then you said aliens and crypto. Yo, very interesting space. I did learn a lot here.
Yeah, it is cool. I want to shout out Riv. I met Riv on the yacht that we were on, and he gave me a shirt. I think it says Type John, and it's a cool shirt, man. I love it, and I've been rocking that one too. So I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, Riv, I think
Uh,
when you guys met, he shot me a DM and says, "Yo, you got to follow this account." I said, "Okay," and then I looked. I said, "Wait, I already am." I said, "I'm already following him." They're like, "Well, reach out to him." I'm like, "I will."
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I got a lot of love and respect for the dogs, man. I saw the community that bark and all you guys built, and I was very attracted to it. I wanted to do something around disclosure, and of course, Mav, you got an awesome, alien and UFO and disclosure space, man. It's like, what are the chances of that? And you live in my home state. It's wild. It's wild.
Quick question: are you planning on going to that whistleblower thing in DC?
It's on the 9th. It's on the 9th.
I was unaware of that till now, but what is exactly is that? I know there was something I heard rumblings of.
I believe they want like a 60-day immunity for any whistleblower to come forward.
Yeah, I did see that. That's recent, the last few days that came out, right?
Yes,
Or is that some? Yeah.
they're going to have a press conference
And I think
about it.
David Grush and James Fox and a number of them are going to be there, isn't it, to really push for disclosure. That's what I heard.
The information so I can try and get my grandma there. And before he leaves, can I please ask the question? And I'm so sorry to cut in line. I'll be quiet.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I wanted to know if you knew my grandmother, Anne Elizabeth Jutman. She was a psychic remote viewer for the CIA, the DIA, and INSACOM. I know that you were trained by
No,
Ed Dames. I spoke to him on this app a couple of years ago. I just got this account back, so I do have my messages with him. But that was back with the whole Tobias Glass incident, and I have all those documents too. I just gatekeep them because I didn't want to dox. But yeah, if you know my grandma or my grandfather, I'd appreciate to have a conversation privately. But I don't trust some of the people in here. But I do trust the host and Daz and Data and Doomer, of course. But I would really appreciate if you have the capacity to speak
Yeah,
outside.
I absolutely do, and I don't mind. I'm fully doxxed. I protect people if they want to remain anonymous, but for me, it doesn't matter. So no, I don't, but I would love to learn more. So I can connect through WhatsApp, Telegram, X. My X DMs. I'm not gonna lie, I'm horrible at checking X DMs.
Well,
It's
if you
probably the
want,
worst
I
place to
can
catch me.
post her declassified NDAs down below, but I have a lot more. I just don't share anymore because the people on here are fucking scary. And I come from a legacy family, so all my family's involved. And I've collected NDA agreements. I've collected the information about the psychological warfare tactics happening on spaces. I'm in over my head, and so I'd just like to know what I'm allowed to talk about and what I have to put on the shelf so that I can get the fastest way to justice. And then I'm leaving. And maybe some answers if you could help with that and point me into the direction. I won't repeat it. I'll even sign like I guess that is an NDA. I don't want anything out of it. I just need answers to move forward. And I can shut up about some of the stuff I know.
And you're speaking to me.
Yes, sir. Angela Matter.
So no, I don't have a lot of answers. I have a lot of questions, and I'm a very curious person. What I do have is I have connections in the political sphere, and with this current
Well,
administration,
my
if
grandma
there's
is
something.
still alive. She worked with Hal Puthoff, Ingo Swan, Joe Moneagle from the very beginning. I have all the NDAs for that project, even the ones that were moved to other agencies. Um, I've talked to a few of these people and I have their DMs. They don't want to touch it because of my grandfather, Operation Jedi Warrior, that whole stuff. Not even my grandma.
Mhm.
So if you can get them to talk or to her or get her to, I'm just stuck in a rock and a hard place. But anyways, if you can't help, just thank you for looking in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk offline and see what I can do to be helpful.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I see we have a couple more hands. Doomer.
Yeah, I'm just dying to know. I'm sure some of us are wondering, my goodness, how are you getting Ryan Graves to jump in, sort of impromptu, host a space? My number one question is, whoever's providing their access to you, are there any subjects, any topics, any specific things that they've said you should stay away from or not address? And if so, what are all of them? And what exactly did
So
they say?
You want me to jump in on this,
so
Steve?
yeah, well, Dan, I'll let you jump in, but here's what I want to say, right? Is that despite what people might believe, there is a cost to doing what we're doing, and that is, it's fully funded, by the token. So this movement that we're able to create is because of the token. Without the token, it's very tough, right? There's cost to doing all of this. And I would just say that, everybody has a price. And I'm not saying that Ryan Graves is somebody that we're going to have to pay, but there are people that you have to pay and work through, right? And take care of to help you open up these conversations. And each person is very different, right? So, like, I don't know how much I want to say. All I'll say is that there's money that needs to flow in certain areas to make some of these things possible. I think actually Ryan is going to be in the category, and Dan, you could touch on this if I'm not speaking correctly, or if you want to add something. Ryan seems like he's somebody who is not motivated by money, but there's a lot of people that are.
Yeah, and I could jump in real quick on Ryan. So, just so you guys know, I'm Steve's number two. And being in this project, you do get to meet a lot of people and you get to network. But with Ryan Gray specifically, my cousin is a retired Navy officer. He was a pilot. He also trained a lot of the Blue Angels how to fly jets and everything. So he's well connected in the military, and he knows Ryan on a very personal level. And reached out to Ryan and told him about what we've been doing, about our guests, about like getting people like Matt Gates in, and talking to Alex Jones and some of the other networks of people. And my cousin John said that he can make arrangements to have Ryan come and speak with us. And we kind of been networking and trying to figure out what that's going to look like. But just to get things kind of straight, like what Steve was saying, we're kind of doing, I feel like, justice for this whole ecosystem of people that are truth seekers. But we have figured a way to monetize it to some degree. But it's a community of like-minded people. And the reason you got to see it run up, I believe that the people that are in here are here for the right reasons, and we want to run things the right way. I think that's what a lot of our success, bringing in open-minded people that think outside the box, that are kind of free spirited. That's some of the success to this crypto project versus any other crypto project you guys seen. But we have had the ability to make these kind of connections that you typically wouldn't see, because it is very expensive to do some of the marketing and make some of the connections we've done. But here we are. We've made a lot of these connections, and we do want to do justice to this community. We do have a lot of respect for the people here, the people that haven't made a penny doing this and life's work in this. We respect all you guys. And we are learning. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know. We're not experts. We're in a lot of ways just normies that thought this topic was interesting, and a lot of us have put time trying to research this their whole lives. But there have been a lot of connections, and having a token has gained us access to making this happen. I hope that answers some of the questions.
Yeah, yeah, really. And I appreciate that you explained to the UFO community, some of these guests, they take some money. Some of them, whether you're paying them in a token or not, you need to fund it. My question is, has anybody told you to stay away from, don't say October 2027, don't say cataclysm, don't say the human Y chromosome is of human origins, don't say, chromosome 2 is genetically engineered. Has anybody
I'll
said
come in
stay
and
away
tell.
from a certain topic?
Sorry.
Oh, did I
Sorry,
step on one
I'm
of them?
getting feedback here. Can you just hear me all right?
Yeah, you're coming in
Yes.
clear.
Yeah, did anybody say stay away from, don't say this, don't say a cataclysm is coming, don't say Lockheed Martin has tech that the US government can't get a hold of? Was there anything that they said you shouldn't talk about?
Sorry, guys. I'm having some feedback.
Oh, somebody, it's all right. Well, I'll follow up with Steve later. Seems like the questions we can't get answers to, I think they're the most important ones. Yeah,
I can answer one of the questions.
I would love that,
So
man. Thank you.
with the UFO footage that we got from a retired B-52 Air Force pilot, the video that he gave us, he waited to do it in person. We met him in person down in Miami, and he gave us the video. And when we got that video, he explained what it was, how he got it, the whole details. I reached out to my cousin, who was a Navy pilot, and I told him what we had. And I'm like, can we show this? And he's like, I don't know. Let me reach out to a JAG lawyer that I know, that I'm personal friends with. And we described what we had, and he said, this is a really great kind of topic. And he couldn't give a straight answer. He said, you might have some people knocking on the door asking how you got this footage. Just be aware of that. So there is risk in what Steve and I have been doing. In addition to that, we reached out to TMZ, and TMZ actually saw our footage. And TMZ had to get somebody from their legal department to actually comment on the footage that we got. And they basically told us, in less fewer words, but they said, we are interested in showing this, but we don't want to be the first ones to show it. That's what they told us afterwards. So I hope that gives you some answers on like the journey we've been on, just specifically for that video that we do have, that we do plan on showing when the time is right, to the right people. But that's what we have come across so far.
And thank you so much, Run D. And what's your name? What do I call you?
Run dirty,
Run
or you could
Dirty.
call me Dan. Like Steve, I've doxed myself. I'm not hiding from anybody. The truth will set you free, one way or the other. We'll do everything we can
Yeah.
and do it right.
Dan, thank you so much. Just because Steve is back up here, my question was there any subject or topic or thing to mention that you were told from any of your sources, from any of the people who came on, to stay away from, whether it's October 2027, Cataclysm, Engineering of the Human Genome, Aliens Creating Religions? Was there anything they say, don't touch this category?
No, I have not gotten any specifics from any
No.
of our sources. Anybody? Yeah, correct.
Awesome. Thank you so much, you guys.
Go ahead, Des. Des.
Sorry, I had to just change the
Hey
audio.
guys, I
I'm
real
here.
quick, I appreciate it. I'm gonna turn it over to Dan. He's been with this project since day one. And guys
I didn't
I
have a
appreciate
question
you having
for
me
you,
come up.
Steve. I just
Uh,
wanted to let you know.
yes,
I, I just wanted to let you know, Steve, about UFO Sarah Space tomorrow. There's a lot of spaces I think in the UFO community that you probably would want to avoid. She's definitely not one of them. It's on Tom DeLong, and it's great research. It's part three, and she's going through podcasts and that. So even if you don't participate and you're learning about the topic, I learned so much from that. So I really just wanted to give her a shout out because by her starting those spaces, it's just brought so much authenticity to the UFO community again.
absolutely. I
I pinned it up.
appreciate that, and we'll definitely connect. And I definitely make time for good spaces. So I appreciate it. And anybody have
Uh,
one quick last one? But Dan Run Dirty. I mean, he's very well versed in what we're doing and our mission and our goal here. So, he's a very secondhand man. So,
What's your next goal moving forward?
my next goal is it's really to create a platform, for people, like the people listening and the speakers that have come up, to lean more into disclosure and talk about experiences and UFOs and aliens and all of it, and just, people in the political sector. Our goal is to get to president. We have a lean fat, and get to him and ask him some questions, and some tough questions, and give our community.
yeah, you're breaking up again, Steve. I think Steve's got to go. Go ahead, Steve. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'll definitely reach out to you. I'll DM you my number, then we can connect. But Run Dirty, Dan, correct?
Yeah, you could call me Dan.
Bro, they
But
got him. Like they
Yeah.
kept getting him specifically. Like, what the heck?
that's not unusual, is it, Goose?
Nah, man, it's just like he was like willing to answer questions and it just goes like, what the heck?
That's what happens. Romera, you have a question for Dan?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Marv, Goose, and thank you so much for giving the mic to me. And yes, I do have a question. I have heard about we all seen these movies and stuff like that, the alien invasion happening, and they are gonna scaring us about this. But somebody once told me that alien invasion happened before, and it's happened not very long time. It's happened in early 1800s, and it's happening, and it's already done. And right now, we are already their hostages, and even the gray, the gray, they are not even the entities. They are robots of another aliens, interdimensional, and like this. And I wanna know how much is it correct, and they wanna then make a new religion and make people ready for going to the another era called maybe if I gonna be correct Aquarius like that, and these kind of stuff happening is started and giving the knowledge started happen by the 2010. For example, I'm telling you, before 2010 nobody ever have heard about the name of the Tesla, but after 2012 everybody going to there was somebody who called Tesla, who made this, who made that, who that that person does this, but we never knew that, and in the during COVID, which is called the Great Awakening, he becomes so famous, but there is no even have a the 2 3 picture of him, but we don't know, is it real, is he real or not, or is it belong to that alien vision and invasion religion that's gonna happen and it's gonna end into new law order. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Dan could answer that question for you, Romero.
I all I can say is, as far as any specifics on like the religion and in 1800s and what happened, and you brought up Nikola Tesla, and I've followed Nikola Tesla my whole life. I'm third generation IBW, and my family's from Croatia. So Nikola Tesla is one of my heroes. And as far as what happened to him, you got actually Donald Trump's first uncle, John Trump, who was kind of working for the FBI before it was officially the FBI, and they were waiting for Nikola Tesla to basically die, or whenever they took care of him, to basically take his life's work and had it under lock and key for protection against the Russians and the Germans and anybody else that might have got his stuff. But any like specifics in this journey that we've had, we're just truth seekers trying to figure things out. We have been getting successful um, intel about when these disclosure drops have been happening. Our sources two for two. You can look at our track record when we announced that we're getting a release, and then from the date it actually happens. And I'll say this: the third date that we were given, it's kind of ironic because it's the same date as Elon Musk's SpaceX IPO. It's the same date as Steven Spielberg's movie Disclosure Day. It's going to be June 12th is the next big drop that we're supposed to get. And we were told it's going to be a far bigger drop than the previous two. I mean, I could speak on stuff like that, though. That's kind of like where the information we've been getting, where it's been, how it's been accurate and how we've been navigating through this.
Thank you, Dan. Data, do you have any questions? Or you just want to introduce?
No, I really wanted to listen. I was hoping that I would have a question, but I just really enjoyed him, kind of explaining his story and everything that was going on. I really appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Dan, for joining us as well. I think this is really good to bring the communities together. And I think they're a little bit less skeptical now on you guys because you guys do have the connections and you were honest and upfront with everything. Um, I feel a lot better about that. Dad's through a heart, and I think Doomer and a few others feel the same way. I'm not going to speak for them because they dropped off the space, but definitely thank you for joining us. I'm definitely gonna be reaching out to Steve. We'll definitely have to meet up. Maybe we can do some events together. Maybe I could tag along with you guys or something. Uh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having us. And I know we'll be going to DC too. We got invited to the UFC fight. So we'll be at the UFC fight at the White House. So, I mean, we will be in DC soon, and Steve's in Jersey. So he's near you. So, we'll be around.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. I'm going to be ending the space unless anyone has any more questions. I'll give you all a second. I did pin Daz's space up top. He's going to be having that space in an interview with Pastor Didio on Thursday of this week. And then tomorrow, UFO Sarah is going to have a space tomorrow. I think it's a final uh, Tom DeLage about, and I think he's on Coast to Coast. And she does a great summary going through the entire audio of that. So very, very interesting. So that'll be tomorrow. Those are both pinned up top. And appreciate everybody. Oh, I got Sarah coming up. Hold on a second.
I got a question too, Mav, for Dan.
Go ahead, Goose.
Well, because you guys are all like I followed all you guys. You guys are all like kind of rolled in together. Looks like you guys are all working together as well. I asked him what his future goals are. Um, is there anything that you're specifically working on, or something that you guys are working on as a group? Something that you guys are looking forward to, or like working to like accomplish?
Yeah, I think for us, this is long term. I don't think that when they are done dropping files, that all the answers are going to be had. I think the first question you have to ask is, why are they giving us this now? So the real truth is happening after they start to give us stuff. You have to question everything. I believe this is a movement. Our goal is to get people in our community and have real life events so we can all meet each other. Some of the team has already met down in Miami at Consensus, so we have already started to meet each other. But this is a mission for us because I do believe that the passion that has come from this project of trying to seek truth and go through disclosure and try to understand it, but to question everything around us. And I think the questions are only going to start beginning. I believe this is going to be something that I could work on the rest of my life. I don't think they're ever going to give us everything. So this is really going to be a long journey for all of us. That's where I see it going for me.
Cool, dude. Thank you. Yeah, it's just the people here in the community do a lot of good work. They dedicate a lot of their own personal time, right? They'll work a whole shift and then come home and start doing some research. So, there's just a lot of dedicated people, and it's kind of cool to kind of come across another group of people that are just as dedicated, and we're all going towards like the same common goal.
Yeah, I agree. And when I first started this, it wasn't exactly where we're at now. My mindset, but like I'm in Web3. I have patents pending for Web3. The way I found Steve was actually using my technology to promote a project, in a way that's never been used. And somehow in that journey, I became full time on this project and came to the conclusion there's no other project that's worthy to work on in crypto. This is it for me. So this is all or nothing for me, and I'm giving it my all. And when you find something good and you find good people, there's no reason to look to do anything other than build with what you're already building on, and that's how I see this going forward.
You know what, dude? I did have another question. Dang it. So I run a AI tech space. And that was going to be my question. Is there something like that you guys do in that same field that you guys are like utilizing or whatever? And like, would you be willing to come on?
I mean, we could have some. You could reach out to us, and we could see what kind of discussions we could have and everything. I mean, we're constantly making new connections and meeting new people along the way, and figuring out how to implement these new lanes that we're finding. So, if there's anything that we could do to help each other out, like I'm fair game to see where that takes us.
Absolutely, dude. Thank you. And oh man, go ahead, sir.
Thanks, Goose. I just wanted to really quick say that I run dirty. It's nice to meet you. I completely agree. I'm come from 13 years old. I was questioning the Kennedy assassination and went down all the stuff. I've been looking at this stuff like many of us for decades. So I'm right there with you. 9 months ago, I had this feeling of just why is this happening now? What is going like why now? Number one. Um, and like what is the reasoning? Is there something coming? Is this to hide something? Like all of the things. And so to me it was, well, the best thing to do is to start looking at the people that are pushing disclosure. Who is pushing disclosure, and why are they pushing it, and what's the reasoning behind it? And the only way that I could think to do that is to just go back to what I originally did, which was sorry, there's motorcycles by me, is to go back and look at the timelines of everyone that is in current disclosure. And one of the biggest people is Tom DeLonge. Even though he doesn't have a voice right now, he did at one point have a voice. His voice was with To the Stars Academy, and it was started in 2017. And so that's what my set series has been for the past couple of weeks. And I'm hoping to finish it up tomorrow. I don't know if we will, but last week, when he went on Joe Rogan in 2017, he was speaking with Joe Rogan, and he said, I got in a lot of trouble for my 2016 interview on Coast to Coast with George Knapp. So we started listening to that last Sunday before I had to cut the space. It was like a 5-hour space, and I had to cut it because I had to go. So we're actually, I encourage everyone to come and hang out tomorrow and bring your questions and thoughts to the space. And we're going to re-listen to the last 15 minutes of part 2 of that coast to coast interview, and then the 30 minutes of, part 3, and then the questions after that, which I think is like 30 minutes. So and as we go, I can hit pause, people raise hands, yada yada. But I have to tell you, we were listening to that part 3 last week, and I felt that there was a collective consciousness, like you could have heard a pin drop in the space just from our collective consciousness, because I was blown away by what he was saying, keeping in mind that he was told he got yelled at a lot for a lot of what he said. So I think that it's important that we learn how we got here today to better understand this disclosure process. And I'm down to hear other people's, thoughts and processes. I had a couple of amazing other researchers from the UFO community come up and share their points of view, and I don't like to plug stuff. Like I'm not sitting here plugging. I'm saying that tomorrow to me is like Christmas in a way, for as a researcher and just as someone who's just really delving into this. Like I can't wait to get back to it and really break it down. And anyway, I wanted to just throw that out there, as if you guys are interested, feel free, and I'm absolutely down. And I look forward to seeing you all there.
Yeah, and I can't see who's speaking right now. Who is this?
Oh, it's
Won't sh-
UFO Sarah. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't show you as a speaker. Weird. It just shows as a listener, but I see you. I'm gonna tell everybody in my community to make sure to follow her, because if she's gonna have a space and going over this, I would like to encourage my community to check it out. That's great. Thank you for the invite, and we'll definitely check it
It's
out.
really fantastic space. Seriously, that's why I had to say, because some of these spaces they kind of just go all over the place. But she does, UFO Sarah does so much intense research, and it's so structured. And I've learned so much just being in these spaces with her these last few weeks. I definitely can't recommend it more.
Thank you, Mav. Thanks for having me up here, and it's been a pleasure with all of you.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Go ahead, WTF.
Yo, I know Mav was in that space last weekend, and man, that was a really good space to be in, especially after, I don't know, like political stuff, kind of like whatever. But then I don't know, there's something about a pure, dedicated space to aliens that it's like typically I really, of course, we get a lot of fringe people, right? So sometimes we butt heads, but man, Sarah, that was so amazing. I can't wait. I think, yeah, this is Sarah from that Tom DeLong. Yeah, that was such an amazing space, and I cannot wait for the next one. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, WTF. Cheeks, you have a question?
What's up, buddy? Man, I hadn't been up here in a long time. Hey, Daz, no offense, brother, you sound exactly like Professor Snape, man, on Harry Potter, dude. You sound just like him.
That's funny. I'm British, innit?
I was like, is that because there's a guy on TikTok that does him every single day on live. And I'm like, man, he sounds just like him. Now look,
Man, you figured it out. Daz was trying to keep that secret. Yo, Daz, you're not anonymous anymore.
Shit, busted.
I love it, man. I always love these spaces, man. Always. I haven't seen the karaoke lately. I've been practicing, bro.
Yeah, that's Friday night cheeks. If no one
Oh,
else
I
has
know. I did.
questions, we're
I've
gonna.
been catching on Fridays lately. I didn't see it. Did you have it yesterday?
Yeah, we had it last night.
Oh, must have missed it.
All right. If no one else has questions for Dan, I'd like to give Dan a big thank you for joining us here tonight on Tailspin. You're always welcome back. I do have my website pinned up top. If I have guests, I normally put those up in there, upcoming guests. And I also have one for the UFO community that we're building out, where if you click up on the UFO tab, and that's UFO X Spaces. So if they're going to have guests, they're going to have spaces. They can drop the info in there, so people know when their spaces are. Because sometimes this app doesn't allow you to know when the spaces are running. It also helps us coordinate the spaces. So like say myself, Sarah, and Daz aren't running a space at the same time. So we're in the process of developing that. But thank you, everyone. Dan, do you have any final words for us? Or are you good?
No, I'm still here. I'd just like to thank you guys. It's nice to be welcomed. I believe you guys were really kind. And if there's any criticism, we would take it. And we want to take this project serious and do the whole space, make it serious and give opportunities that maybe you guys don't get because we are raising funds. And if we ever get a big guest, now that we're kind of networking and connecting, to invite you guys, or we could ask questions on your behalf, figure out a lane to where, we could get more truth and get better questions to these top, high level people who, have access to this. So we would like to share and offer that olive branch. So thanks again.
Yo, Dan, I'm gonna DM you right now about like some like off-topic stuff. So if you can just check your DMs really quick.
Yeah, after this space, I'll follow up.
Thank you, Goose. All right, thank you, Dan. Thank you, Daz, Cheeks, UFO Sarah, Data, everybody for jumping up on stage. Pop, my co-host Guy, he had to jump off. He had to get to work. And everyone down below, Doomer, Fringe, Interstellar, everyone. Thank you for joining here tonight. I hope this answers some of the questions about this project and this group, and maybe we can work together. So looking good. Thank you, everyone. Play an outro song. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night.
Some talk, some dream, some fade in the wind. We build in the shadows, let the world tune in. Every doubt is a drumbeat. Under our stride, they whisper names. We make the tide. Keep talking, keep doubting. We're stacking, we're mounting.